This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Quality Hang, and as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, man?
What's up, Daddy-O? Good to see you on a Friday night.
Thank God it is Friday, everyone. We made it through another week. We have made it to the weekend. I hope you have a measurable blood alcohol level, and you can really get into the show, vibe with the show, because yes, indeed, it is a free-for-all Friday, and it is exactly what it says. Yes, we could get into anything on this Friday. It's not a promise as much as it's a threat, actually, that we could get into anything. So who knows who we could defame and slander on this show. Are we bound by FCC rules and regulations? We are not.
We are not. We good to go.
Duly noted. We start this show as we always do by thanking our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from. I'm sure there's one near you if you happen to be in the North Bay, specifically Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato, and whatever you desire, whatever hunger you have, whatever thirst you have, or whatever Jones for entertainment you have, it will all be satisfied at Hop Monk. The food is great from a diverse menu. The craft beer selection is out of this world, full bar as well, and a full boat of entertainment options, whether it is musical touring acts from around the country stopping by at all three Hop Monk venues, or local artists playing at all 3 Hop Monk venues. They got everything for everybody. They've got open mic night, open mic comedy night. They've got country line dancing night. There's a Bob Marley tribute going on at one of the Hop Monks later on this weekend. So whatever you're into, I guarantee you can find it at Hop Monk. So make sure you follow them online at hopmonk.com, and definitely follow them on all the socials, and stop by if you happen to be near Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. All right, let us get into it. Let's get involved on this Free-for-All Friday, and we will start with the Niners. Injury-wise, it's not bad. Some would say it's getting better, but it's not at a stable point. So let's get the Niner injury report, and thanks to my coworker at NBC Sports Bay Area, Matt Mayoko. By the way, you can see myself, Matt, and Carlos Ramirez on the Niners pre- and post-game show an hour before, an hour after the Niner game on Sunday. So we'll be on at 12 on NBC Bay Area Plus, and we'll be on at around 4. So also on NBC Bay Area Plus when the Niner game against the Arizona Cardinals is over. But let me move this graphic here real quick. As you can see, Spencer Burford and Jordan Watkins are both ruled out. That is over and done with. Jawan Jennings, we'll get to Brock Purdy here in just a second. Jawan Jennings did not practice all week long, so his stat for the game is questionable. Exactly. Remember, Jawan Jennings had some big catches in the Niners win over the Saints in New Orleans last week. I know everybody's going to point to Brock Purdy. There was some intrigue, and I think this was just the Niners giving the Arizona Cardinals a little something to worry about, although I don't think anybody took it seriously, that Brock Purdy, while he was able to practice all 3 days, albeit in a limited fashion, and we showed you the video where he was dropping back, he looked good. But if you notice, there was no video of Brock Purdy rolling out or moving laterally on that toe injury. Kyle Shanahan did try again, and I think it was a little tongue-in-cheek, and also to give the Cardinals something to worry about, that there was a possibility that Brock Purdy could play this Sunday. That possibility is as dead as Napoleon. Purdy will either be the backup or more than likely the third emergency quarterback. So it is once again on the arm of Mac Jones, who threw 3 touchdowns last week. But to me, Marcus, the bigger of these questionables is left guard Connor Colby. Colby came in for Ben Barch early in the game on this past Sunday against the Saints. And Connor came in at left guard and was by all measurables, Marcus, he was absolutely outstanding. Connor Colby got into the game, and Mac Jones, remember, threw the ball 39 times.
A lot of throwing,
right? Connor Colby was in on 35 of those 35 pass attempts.
Woo.
So Connor Colby was in at left guard on 35 pass attempts.
How many sacks? Any sacks or pressures allowed?
0 pressures. 0.
Doesn't
Connor
suck.
Colby, rookie, all right?
Doesn't
Late round
suck.
draft pick, came in an emergency situation for starter Ben Barch. And Ben Barch, by the way, is done for a while. And the way Connor Colby played against the Saints and how he's projected to play leads me and a lot of people to believe that Ben Barch has lost his job.
Somebody got pipped.
To Connor Colby, 100%. But again, Colby allowed 0 pressures. And the Niners offensive line, we talked about this on Monday after the game. The Niners offensive line was absolutely outstanding. Trent Williams was much better against the Saints than he was against the Seattle Seahawks. He didn't allow a pressure on 42 dropbacks. Jake Brendel, the somewhat, if not much maligned center for the Niners, he had himself a very good game. And according to Pro Football Focus, and some people are down with Pro Football Focus and some people aren't. But according to Pro Football Focus, Jake Brendel, after 2 weeks, very small sample size, but after 2 weeks, Pro Football Focus has Jake Brendel ranked as the number 2 overall center. Dominic Pooney's dealing with a knee injury, but even at right guard, he was in the 92nd percentile as far as pass block win rate. And Colton McKivitz out there at right guard, he was in the 96th percentile as far as pass block win rate. So offensive line in total against the Saints was outstanding. The most outstanding of that crew, as I mentioned, was Connor Colby. He injured himself in practice yesterday. He has a groin injury. And as you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube and on X, Connor Colby is questionable. To me, that's bigger than Brock Purdy not being in, possibly. It's bigger than Juwan Jennings possibly not playing, because other than Seattle, this is the best front that the Niners have seen this year. The Niners offensive line proved that they were better and up to the task than the Saints defensive line. It was a battle that they should have won, and they did, and they won it handily. Marcus, this Arizona front that the Niners are going to see on Sunday, led by Josh Smith, led by Dalvin Tomlinson, and old school Calais Campbell is still out there. That's a whole different set of circumstances. And not having Connor Colby is going to be a big issue for the Niners, because part of Mac Jones's success, being able to throw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions on 39 dropbacks, 29 of those being completed, is that he had time. He was not as harassed as one would think that he would be. This Arizona squad is a completely different story up front, and not having Colby there is only going to make Mac Jones's job even more difficult.
Hey, man, first of all, it's hilarious that Calais Campbell is still playing.
Yeah. He still gets it done, though, dog.
He's still out there. I ain't mad at all. But, I mean, it is kind of an amazing thing that Colby is a rookie, and we're like, no, we need you, dog. We need you. Yeah. That's saying something about what his potential is going to be.
And, again, the Niners are very, very thin at offensive line. Mentioned that Barch is out. He's going to be out for a while with the injury that he suffered in the Saints game. As you can see, Spencer Burford, the Niners swing tackle, he is out with a knee issue that has been problematic. So the Niners are going to have to dig deep on the depth chart to try and stabilize that left guard position. Now, again, he's questionable, so it's a 50-50 shot. He could play. If he does play, how compromised would he be? Speaking of Connor Colby, but either way, to me, that's a much bigger issue than Jennings not participating and possibly not playing. And Purdy, I think we all knew that the chances of him playing this weekend were slim, and he doesn't have to because of the job that Mac Jones did only a few short days ago.
You got a question from Lost D right there.
Let me see the question here from Los D. Hi, Rod. There was a ton of debate on Jake Brindle. The eye test says he's below average, but the Niners love him. Why, in your opinion? The Niners, like their offensive linemen, they what's the best way to put it? They like them at a certain value. Let's put it this way. And Jake Brindle, from a cost standpoint, Jake Brindle fits in there perfectly with what they like to do with their offensive line in total. They felt like they've already spent enough actual draft capital in Pooney and actual capital money in Trent Williams. The other guys, they like to fill in value situations, getting late round draft picks at offensive line, like Connor Colby in this year's draft. I think Colby was a 5th round draft pick. I forget it. I forget exactly. So, I know that a lot of people look at Barch, and I've been frustrated with him myself at times as well, because a lot of the Niners' problems last year in terms of not being able to run the ball or pressure that Brock Purdy was getting came from up the middle. And, you can very easily go online and see, quite a few bits of footage where Brindle is having a tough time in protection and having a tough time in run blocking up the middle. But so far this season, and I think last year he had an injury situation as well. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I think it might have been a knee, but he had an injury situation as well. Brindle right now, still, me personally, and that's why I said with the Pro Football Focus ranking him number 2 overall at the center position this year, it is a very, very, very small sample size, only 2 weeks. So I wouldn't dare put him in the top echelon of centers. But after 2 weeks, the job he's done has looked a lot better than the job he did for the majority of the season last year, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's interesting with me. I always think of offensive linemen, as the group on the football team that most benefits from coaching and execution. Not saying that talent doesn't matter. I just feel like if you've got a decent athlete with decent size, you can generally get them to be decent with really good coaching and execution.
And not to mention getting guys to be together and stay together. And having a cohesive
choreography
unit
in sync is important. You're right.
And that's part of coaching as well. I think you can safely say that that's a part of it. But yeah, I would agree with you that yes, talent trumps everything in sports. But the right coaching with the right talent, that's a magical conversation. That is a magical combination, he tried to say in English. And I think Chris Forrester, the Niners offensive line coach, is one of the best in the league. Highly revered and highly thought of across the league. So
if you're a really good offensive line coach, you will always have a job, buddy.
Yes, that is
always highly valued.
That is true. And if you know the history of Chris Forrester, what you just said, Marcus, and I'm not going to get into it. If you folks would like to Google it, knock yourself out. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yes, Chris Forrester being good at his job has meant that he's been able to keep his job, even though there's been some stuff. So the Niners, by the way, 1.5 favorites over the Arizona Cardinals, who have had the Niners number over the last couple of years, particularly last year when the Niners got swept by the Cardinals, got embarrassed in the last game. But that's
crazy.
End of the season, and the Niners were absolutely and completely physically and emotionally spent from that season and the season before, which of course culminated with them losing the Super Bowl in heartbreaking fashion. And Kyler Murray just gives the Niners all sorts of fits. I cannot wait to see what Robert Saleh has cooked up for Kyler Murray, because I promise you, Kyler Murray, who has He's gotten the best of the Niners. 543 all-purpose yards, 6 touchdowns in the 2 games against the Niners last year. Kyler Murray early in the game at Levi's last year, little read option, bam, Kyler Murray scampers into the end zone, and it was the beginning of a very bad day for the Niners. With what Robert Saleh has cooked up and the guys he has at his disposal, this is going to be the fastest defense that Kyler Murray has seen from the Niners in quite a few years. And I can't wait to see how Robert Saleh unleashes D. Winters and Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel, and how he uses that. I think they're calling it their NASCAR package, defensive line package, with Bosa and Huff and Michael Williams and Yetur Gross-Matos. If he's able to play, those are 4 guys that when deployed at the right time, they can go and get a quarterback like Kyler Murray. So it's going to be interesting to me. I think this is going to be the most important part of the game, is how Robert Saleh is able to use a new, improved, and faster Niner defense against a guy in Kyler Murray who's been absolutely giving them fits running around out there.
Yeah. This will be a fun game. Interesting that the 49ers have been favored in every game, but not by much. Not by much in every game.
No, not by much at all. But don't matter. Just keep winning them. Just keep winning them. Week 3 is we've already had week 3 with the Buffalo Bills beating the Miami Dolphins last night. So the Bills, they are now 3-0, and the Dolphins are 0-3. And we all know that when you're 0-2, you have basically no chance of making the playoffs. Since the NFL expanded to a 14-team playoff in 2020, 5 of 41, 12% and change that started 0-2 have made the playoffs. And actually 4 of those 5, if I'm remembering correctly, Marcus, happened over the last couple of years.
Yep.
Teams that started 0-2. I know that because my Texans are one of those teams that started 0-2 and made the playoffs. Hopefully that happens again this year, because if you start 0-3, it is a problem. But if you start 3-0, as the Niners hope to, and as the Bills have, the Bills have, as the Bills have already, if you start 3-0, out of the 15 that have done that since 2021, 12 of them have made the playoffs. So if the Niners get this W and start 0-3, they'll be starting to cook with gas, no doubt.
There was a year, I want to say it was probably like 96. The Raiders started the season 8-1, never won another game.
Ooh.
Never won another game. They finished 8-8 that year.
Those are the years you remember the most.
Golly. I mean, what was going on?
Those are the years those are the ones that leave a mark. Those are the ones that leave scar tissue.
I think Jeff Hostetler was the quarterback, or maybe it was Hostetler? Maybe.
Sounds about right.
Hostetler. Who was the other kid they had?
Jay Schrader was before, right? Or was
Jay Schrader was in LA? Yep. Hostetler, and then it was Jeff George.
Nah, that's who.
Jeff George.
I could see the mustache. I could see the mullet, and I could see the mustache. Yes, it was. It was Jeff George. Absolutely. Best game on this slate. Rams and Eagles. 2-0 teams going at it. That is going to be a head knocker. Your Raiders get Marcus Mariota instead of Jaden Daniels.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah, you would absolutely take that. The Broncos Chargers game is going to be good as well. And then the night games.
That Lions Ravens game.
Oh yeah, Lions Ravens without a doubt, a doubt. But I'm just jumping at you off paper. Other than the obvious, the Rams and the Eagles, that Broncos Chargers game, old school AFC West tilt. Yeah. That's going to be a good looking affair for sure. My Texans go down 0-3 and lose to the Jaguars. It is going to be a problem.
You can't be losing to the Jags, man.
Oh, I know. You're right.
Losing to these Jags out here.
You're right.
Can we lose to these Jags out in these streets?
Can't be doing that. People think you're soft when you're out here losing to the Jags out here in these streets. Real quick Giants update here before we move on and get into the ongoing saga of Jonathan Kuminga. Let's start here. Giants 76-77 started their 4-game series down in LA against the Dodgers yesterday. Lost the game, so now the Giants are record-wise 3.5 games out of the third wild card spot behind the Mets. The Giants have some company, and they also don't have the tiebreaker against the Mets, so the Giants are, in essence, 4.5 games out of that third wild card spot. So it is starting to get late here fairly quickly for the Giants. But you never know. Get these last 3 in LA. Maybe you can make it interesting here this last week. Giants are in the middle of the action right now. And tonight's game is significant for the Giants for their playoff hopes, but also it is the last regular season game that Clayton Kershaw will start. He announced his retirement, and fittingly, of course, his last regular season game comes against the Giants, and they made a big to-do about it. Naturally,
I mean,
Clayton Kershaw takes the mound, takes the field.
Yeah, man.
All alone. As much as I hate the Dodgers, and as much as I've enjoyed watching Clayton Kershaw's playoff failings, and as much as I dislike him being from Highland Park, that rich part of Dallas, Kershaw never bothered me. You know, I never had like a hate for him. I hate who he plays for.
That's what it was.
I hate where he played
on. Like,
I hate where he comes from. That's a good shot, by the way. But I never hated Clayton Kershaw, the person. So, you know, mad respect. I look at Clayton Kershaw like I look at various members of those 90s Cowboys teams.
Yes.
I never disliked Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and the rest of those guys because they were really good football players. They played their asses off. They played hard, and as individuals, they didn't cheat the game. As individuals, they were great, and as a team, they were great. I hated them because they were Dallas Cowboys, and that's good enough for me. So I feel the same way about Clayton Kershaw. All that being said, I do enjoy when Clayton Kershaw gets slapped around a little bit. All right. So well, Clayton Kershaw took the mound, 50,000 people at Dodger Stadium on a Friday night, rightfully give him his props. And then the game starts, and Elliot Ramos came in, and he said, "Hold this."
And there's a high drive, deep left center field. Way back there. Adios, pelota. More than halfway up into the bleachers in deep left center to the right of the 375 marker. And the Giants jump ahead 1-0. The 18th home run of the year for Elliot Ramos.
Fell out of bed and smacked one into the pavilion at Dodgers Stadium. It got tied up at 1 when Miguel Rojas hit a solo home run, but Wilmer Flores singled to center in the third, scoring Matt Chapman. So bottom 4, the Giants again, who are 76-77 and 4.5 games really out of that third wild card spot. The Giants are up on the Dodgers 2-1. Robbie Ray is getting back on the good foot after his last start, which was against the Dodgers, which was no bueno. Robbie Ray, after 3 innings, only giving up 2 hits and that 1 earned run on that Miguel Rojas home run. So the Giants still got some action at this point, Marcus, but it's starting to get late here real quick.
Yep. I mean, the problem that they have is that it wasn't necessarily losing to the Dodgers, but it's losing to the Dodgers and then losing to those also Reds. Like it just cannot happen when you're in their position.
Well, you know, they're going to look back. The Giants are going to look back when they played their worst baseball, and it was when they had the home series against the Rays and the Washington Nationals.
Oh, boy.
And the Giants played, to me, their absolute worst baseball of the season. They couldn't do anything right.
That was the bottom of the barrel. Yeah.
It wasn't the bottom of the barrel. They bored through the bottom of the barrel and went 10 feet underground. That's how bad it was. Their offensive approach was horrible from game to game. Defensively was terrible. Their base running was awful. I think there was some situations managing wise. Bob Melvin did not put his best foot forward. They got no pitching. It was a clown show all the way around. That's where the Giants are going to look back and go, we lost, we kicked away the opportunity in all reality. Then they to their credit, they didn't allow that bad stretch to define them, and they made they made it interesting, for lack of a better way to put it. But they wouldn't have had to dig themselves out of the hole that they created if they had not played as bad as they did against competition that at the time they were better than. And I know it's baseball, just like in all sports. Anybody can beat you on any given day. But for those stretch of games, the Giants played their absolute worst baseball. And if they lose out on making the wild card by 3.5, 4.5 games, I think you can look at those, if my math is correct, 7 games that they played and go, that's where you lost the season.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to look back on it and they go, yeah, this is where it went bad. I mean, even if they had been a near 500 at about that time, but to just, like you said, to just bore through the bottom and fall off like that, there's just no real recovery from that. The fact that they've gotten back to 500 is actually kind of a mini miracle.
No, it's a credit to them. Absolutely. No doubt about that. All right. I've avoided it long enough because this whole thing just, this whole Giants Kuminga thing. Warriors Kuminga thing. All right. So his agent, Aaron Turner, Jonathan Kuminga's, making the media rounds over the past couple of days, ostensibly to me, to control the narrative and try to apply some semblance of pressure to the Warriors, with training camp being days away and the deadline to sign the qualifying offer being days away. I believe training camp starts on the 29th of this month. So Turner went on 95.7 The Game today and went on the Dubs Talk podcast on NBC Sports Bay Area today, and he said a lot. Said quite a bit. Almost too much to cover. But we'll get to the important stuff. All right. So Turner says today that if the Warriors get rid of the team option and give Kuminga the player option for the third year of that $75 million contract that supposedly is on the table, and I think it is on the table, Kuminga will be signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay.
If he'll be committed to helping Steph Curry get that title. So hilarious.
If there is no player option given, Kuminga will begrudgingly accept the qualifying offer by the deadline next week. So this $8 million qualifying offer has a no trade clause. And if Kuminga begrudgingly signs it, he will become an unrestricted free agency after this upcoming season. Aaron Turner also said that Kuminga wants, quote, a chance to start every night and finish every night. He also said that Kuminga has talked to Steph and Draymond and Jimmy, and that there is no drama concerning Kuminga's contractual desires. I believe that to be 100% true.
I believe that is true as well.
Players don't ever, unless your money issues, whatever they may be, unless they bleed into the team's performance, players are always fans of their brothers trying to get more money. Okay, I believe that to be 100% true, and it's 100% true. Baseball might be a little bit different, but I know it's true in football. That's why guys don't get mad when dudes hold out. And I believe it's true in basketball, and it's true in this case. It is also being reported that Curry, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler have gone to the Warriors front office to advocate for Jonathan Kuminga. To basically say, hey, man, get a young fellow what he wants. We want him around here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And this is where the rubber meets the road, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of this Kuminga Warriors relationship. Aaron Turner said on 95.7 The Game that Steve Kerr told him that it's hard to play Kuminga with the roster that they have. Now,
he said that from the jump.
Let's break that down. What exactly does that mean? I'll tell you what I believe it means. It means that he can't play him and Draymond at the same time. Somebody got to come off the bench. And we all know who it ain't going to be.
That's right.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And I think that's a very fair assessment. And he couldn't play him with Looney either.
Nope.
He couldn't.
But you don't have that problem now because Looney is in New Orleans. Well, you know what? Shout out Loon.
I think that is an issue they're going to have to deal with. If JK was a better shooter, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, right? But he ain't that, and obviously Draymond ain't that. So you got to go with the guy that's proven. I mean, it's just what it is.
And what is Steve Kerr going to go with? The guy that he knows he can count on to do what they need done in a team defensive concept. And he's going to do what they need done from a rebounding concept. And he's going to do what they need done from working within the framework of the offense to make sure that ball finds Steph Curry more often than not. So there's the issue. Okay. Kuminga has a very powerful advocate in Joe Lacob. And he's got very powerful advocates in Steph and Clay and Draymond. But there's one guy who's not going to budge on how he wants this team to play and how he knows this team needs to play for it to be successful. And that is Stephen Douglas Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Kuminga wants money. He wants security. He wants control. He wants minutes. He wants touches. And let me be crystal clear. There is nothing wrong with Jonathan Kuminga having any of those desires. Okay. It really bugs me when people say that he's a cancer. Okay. That's a very serious charge to drop on a guy. All right. And if we being real truthful and if we keeping it a buck, there's a person on that team that has done more things that one would consider to be truly cancerous to a team environment than anybody else in that organization. And you know who I'm talking about. But they make exceptions for him. I guess that's a different story for a different time. So let me be clear again. All of the things that Jonathan Kuminga desires, money, touches, guaranteed minutes, all that stuff, he is well within his right to want. The problem is that runs counter to the guy who is ultimately in charge of how this roster is maybe not constructed, but how this roster plays. And that's Steve Kerr.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the problem for Kuminga. If Kuminga, first of all, if you want to give Kuminga all those things, then you have to believe that Kuminga is the player he believes that he is. First of all, and then if that's the case, you got to start dumping guys. You got to start dumping guys, which also means you don't expect to be winning. So, from my standpoint, is it worth the risk? Probably worth the risk. I know Kuminga, and one of the other really interesting quotes I heard from Turner was the fact that other teams were offering him everything, and it really stood out to me. They said, you don't have to change anything. And that is a gigantic draw to a young guy who wants all the things that you've just talked about.
And don't blame him for wanting that.
And I mean, win, not win, I don't care. Just let me get my minutes, let me get my points, let me get my money.
Yep.
I'll live with it. And there are people and players who are perfectly okay with that life.
Yep, absolutely.
Carmelo Anthony springs right to mind. Carmelo wanted to win, but it wasn't the main thing for him.
Yeah,
and that's fine. You're gonna have those guys on your team. The problem is you don't want those guys to be your number one option.
Yep. Kerr wants Kuminga to rebound and defend and stay on the floor and get numbers within the flow of the game.
Yes.
Kuminga's argument is I can't get into a flow if I know I'm not going to get consistent minutes and this, that, and the third. So Kuminga and his agent know that if they sign that 3-year, $75 million deal, that Kuminga is either going to be traded or the team is eventually going to decline that team option as long as Steve Kerr is the coach. So until Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga can hash it out, I don't know if he's going to sign the qualifying. Well, I could actually see him doing it now that I think about it.
I wouldn't do it, but I can see him doing it.
I could see him doing it.
I can see him doing it.
But I'm a big fan of betting on yourself. I think that's the best bet you can make. And I think if you're Kuminga, do it and show people that you can, in an adverse situation, not the worst situation in the world by any stretch, but in an adverse situation, you can say, all right, you know what? I'm just going to have to eat this. It's going to sound crazy, but $8 million excrement sandwich.
Yeah.
And I am going to do what they asked me to do. And I'm going to demonstrate that not only do I have basketball talent that could flourish outside of what he would consider Kuminga a system that's restrictive and restricting to him, but I can also do what I'm asked to do and do it without complaint and play hard. Because I tell you what's the real drawback in this is not him getting injured, although that is always the drawback.
Yeah.
The drawback is he signs the qualifying offer, and what he puts on tape is a guy who's not happy and is either not doing what he needs to do, or disgruntled, or he's out there saying, all right, now it's time for me to showcase and get mine. And he is actively, by virtue of his play, sabotaging the team's chances to win.
Honestly, and to be completely honest, even if he tried to do that, I don't think the teammates that he has would let that ride.
I would agree with you on that.
I don't think that's as big. It's obviously a concern. I don't think it's big as concern as it would be if they had different teammates. I think the thing that hurts Kuminga ultimately is the fact that here's what I think I've learned about Steve Kerr. If you show you can do it, you're gonna be out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you show you can do it, you're gonna be out there. And it sucks to get pulled on and pulled off the court, but then at some point you have to ask, what's happening where I'm being pulled off the court all the time, or I'm getting DNPs. And I think he knows. And Steve Kerr has explicitly said what he wants him to do. Dude, deliver it. Give him 8 rebounds a game, and go and get your 15 points off of rebounds, putbacks, dunks, and some threes every now and then.
Yeah.
Play hard defense.
I do. The one area where I fault Kuminga in terms of his mindset with this, and Turner said, I believe he said it on 95.7 The Game today, or maybe it was on the podcast he did, the ESPN podcast he did yesterday. Either way, he said that, and I'm paraphrasing here, that it's hard for Kuminga to, like, all the things that they want him to do.
Yeah.
Defense and rebounding specifically. Kuminga says, well, if I can't get into a flow, then how can I do the things you need me to do? If I can't get a good lather and a good flow, and I know I'm not going to get consistent minutes, then how can I go out there and rebound? I got a problem with that. Because you don't get to pick and choose when you rebound.
Yep.
You don't get to pick and choose when you decide to play defense.
Yes, sir.
As soon as you hit the floor, even if you're only out there for a minute, if your job is to rebound and defend, then you need to do that for the minute or 32 minutes. that you're out there. This idea that he needs to get, man, it reminds me of the Eric Dampier, like, I got to get my touches early in the game.
Yeah.
And then you give him the ball and he will fumble the ball out of bounds. This idea that for you to get out of me what needs to happen for me to stay on the court, I got to be given these minutes. Like, no, you get those minutes by rebounding and defending.
Yeah. I mean, literally,
that's how it works.
Literally,
right?
every guy who comes into the league has always said, I knew that I would get minutes if I played defense and rebounding. Every single young guy I've heard talk about this. I knew I was going to. Draymond Green talked about it. I knew I would get minutes if I played defense and rebounding. You will get that, and when you get those minutes, you will be rewarded with the opportunity to score points.
I don't think Kuminga is a bad cat at all. And I don't even think his agent, a lot of people think his agent is not good at his job and a buffoon.
Yeah, I don't think his agent is doing him any favors.
I would agree with that. I think this media tour today, it smelled kind of desperate.
Yep.
Especially, he was on 95.7 and they do, they use the same program we use where you can see who you're interviewing. It's not just on the phone anymore. And boy, it seemed, I don't know if thirsty is the word, but boy, it seemed really obvious that Turner is in the forefront of the shot. And then behind him is Kuminga working out. Dribbling and shooting. Like, okay, all right, dog. We see what you're doing. But again, I'm trying to be fair. I don't know exactly what's going on, so I'm not going to say that his agent, is a buffoon or doesn't know what he's doing. I think that what he's pulled off over these last couple of days, like I said, seems kind of desperate. But all right, dog, whatever. I don't think that anything that Kuminga is doing is out of bounds. I don't think what he's asking for is out of bounds. Okay. I don't think what Steve Kerr expects from a player of his ilk is out of bounds. I think the way the Warriors front office has handled this has been a bit ham-fisted. I think the Durant trade might have had a little something to do with it. I think they felt like that they had him traded. And Houston came in and swooped in and got Durant, or Durant didn't want to come to the Warriors or whatever it was. But it was Durant didn't want to come to the Warriors. I just think that a lot of things happen and have conspired to get to this point. And now both parties are just kind of standing there with their palms up to the sky like, okay, what do we do now?
Okay, and there is one curious thing about this that I feel like the Warriors could give on. I actually think the Warriors could give on this player option.
I think they could too.
And I know that they will hang on to him, but I just feel like you're trying to get rid of him anyway. So is he going to make it to a third year? Just go give him the player option and then go ahead and trade him or do whatever you want to do. Or, let him become a free agent after 2 years. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
It does seem like it's an unusual thing to sink your teeth into and hold on to.
Yeah. They want control. I get it, but dude, you're trying to sign and trade him anyway.
Yeah. I think we're at this point now in the proceedings to where you got to give something. Yeah. And I do believe that they would, under a certain amount of duress, sign that qualifying offer and say, there, but for the grace of God, go I. Let's just go. I think they would do that. So if you're the Warriors, you have to be cognizant and ready for the fact that you could lose him for nothing. And while I think that there are a lot of people out there who overvalue Jonathan Kuminga, and I think also that there are people who unfairly malign his basketball ability and his intelligence, I think there is a market for him for sure. So, but again, I think we're still dancing around the main problem is that you have a coach who I think rightly understands you cannot play him with certain people.
Yeah.
One person, really, in particular.
Yeah.
And that one person is not. If Draymond said, I'll come off the bench, I don't want to say your problem is solved, but that would be a big part of making this thing a lot better of a situation.
I also think that the low key, the other part that's not talked about as much is you can't play him with Jimmy Butler either.
Yeah, but Butler is a little bit more versatile. I just you can't play with Draymond at all. You can play with Butler for a little bit. You can't play with Draymond at all.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I mean, well, we'll see how the season. I mean, honestly, I could see them trading him at the beginning of the year if this thing takes off and goes well.
Yeah.
If he's playing well, especially if they get something out of Quentin Post, I could definitely see them going, you know what? Let's get somebody else in here next to this young guy.
Yep.
Because Draymond's going to be gone in 2 years. Butler's going to be gone in 2 years. And, yeah, Steph is probably going to be gone in a couple of years, too.
Steve Kerr going to be gone in a couple of years?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. I mean, wouldn't you? I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to be here. Nobody's rebuilding. Like Jordan said, I don't want to be here for no rebuilding, new coach. I don't want to do none of that. Bro, you know how hard it must be, Rob, when you think about like these teams that have been so used to winning.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's not there. Like you know for a fact you have no chance to do anything. Like that would drive me insane. I don't think I could do it.
Everything is finite, my friend. Everything is finite. Real quick Giants update before we get to on this date. Bottom 5, 1 out, 2 on for the Dodgers, but the Giants are still holding on to a slim 2-1 lead as Robbie Ray has entered into his 4th inning of pitching. 3 hits, only giving up that 1 run so far. Knock on wood, it stays that way. A solo home run in the 2nd inning by Miguel Rojas, and he has struck out 4 and walked 2 as well. So let's keep on keeping on here on this Free for All Friday. Let's do a little on this date, shall we? Sort of a weird, I think this is coincidental, but sort of a weird day where you've had in 1983, Marcus, 3 game shows make their debut. On this date in 1983, the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune came out on this date.
Good God.
Look at Sajak. Look at the timeless beauty that is Vanna White. Yo, dog, wow. Vanna's still holding, brother.
She all right.
I
By
don't
the
know.
way, you want to see how old this show is? Look at the lady's hair.
Oh, yeah. No, she got that.
Is this the 80s? Because it looks like the 60s.
She got that silver fox fro. She got that Don Sutton. That's what she got. She got that. Shout out Don Sutton. She got that Don Sutton fro, Donnie man.
And your boy Sajak looks like he's about to run for Congress. Good gracious.
Yeah, so on this date, 1983.
Wow.
Syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune came out. My grandmother's favorite game show. She could solve puzzles like that.
Man, do you like game shows?
I love them. Well, I love one in particular. I love Jeopardy. Wheel of Fortune, I have a blind spot. I cannot solve a Wheel of Fortune puzzle for.
Are you serious?
I can't do it. It's something within my brain, something in my lizard brain that has difficulty with solving a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. It's like I can't see it. I cannot understand it. Yeah. But useless facts.
It's essentially Hangman, right? That's what it is.
Basically, yeah. And as a kid, I was never really good at Hangman. So
I don't really this is what's funny. I don't particularly care for game shows. I've never sought out a game show. I don't care about them. But every now and then, if everybody in the family is watching it and I come by, I get caught up in the competition of solving the puzzle. Like I don't really care about the show, but now that everybody's trying to solve the puzzle, I need to win.
No, I'm that way about Jeopardy. Don't let Jeopardy be on in mixed company, because my fragile ego compels me to at least attempt to answer every question or every answer that's put up on Jeopardy.
Especially
But
when it's a category you know.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Man, don't let it be sports. Get out of my way. But Wheel of Fortune, I can't see it. Also on this date in 1983, Love Connection.
Wow.
Debuted in syndication with Chuck Woolery. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Everybody remembers that, of course. And also on this date in 1983, remember Pressure Luck? Big bucks, no whammies? Come on, dog.
Baby.
Come on, dog.
No whammies. Are you kidding me?
All three of these game shows debuted on the exact same day. This date, September 19th, 1983.
It was the new fall season.
Yeah.
Because remember, we used to have seasons where TV shows debuted. It was a new fall season.
We did.
All
Good
these
point.
shows came out. Yeah, that's
point.
what it is.
Good point. So on this date, Pressure Luck, syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune, and Love Connection all debuted on this date in 1983. We'll go in chronological order.
Hey, you got a question there, Rod, from Cole.
Let's see here, Cole. Missed today's show too. Is it Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Wait, what? Huh? What?
Cole, yes. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Today's Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just got here.
Just checking. All right, because for a second there you had me scared. For a second there, you had me thinking that I blacked out for a couple of days. On this date, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, 1814.
Great album.
Came out. Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Great
Expertly album. Produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Oh man. That album was so pivotal for her career because she had her first 2 albums, they were flop. Well, the first album wasn't a super flop, but the second album was kind of a flop. Then she did Control, and everybody's like, all right, can you do it again? Which is always the question you get. And then she outdid herself with Rhythm Nation. Yeah.
Classic album, timeless, still holds up. Like I said, the production by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis is as timeless as Janet Jackson is as an artist. So, and
the videos, bro.
The videos were absolutely outstanding. The visuals. Just the whole theme of the album. Would we consider it a concept album?
I think, for sure.
100%.
Okay. 100%.
Okay. I know it had a theme. I didn't know if we could consider it a concept album, but
100%. Yeah. Dude, I used to love me some Janet Jackson, boy.
What you mean used to love you some Janet Jackson? What you talking about, dog?
I still do, but I'm talking about, know.
Yeah, oh yeah. So here's
when
the question.
Hormones are really firing.
Here's the question: which Janet Jackson was? You know what? It's a free for all Friday. Which Janet Jackson was the finest? Okay, I'm gonna give you several eras.
Hit me.
The Janet Jackson. Okay,
hit me.
I'm gonna give you Janet Jackson during the Different Strokes era when she was Willis's girlfriend, right? Okay. I'll give you Rhythm Nation, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you That's the Way Love Goes, Janet Jackson. All right. But I'm saving my favorite for last.
What is it?
Pleasure Principle, Janet Jackson.
That was she had them jeans in that one. Yeah. You know what?
Is it getting hot in here?
It is warm.
Whew. Come on, dog.
You know what I love? The One Escapade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Desert.
Yeah. And Love Would Never Do Without You. That was a great one.
Oh my God.
It was a great one.
That's the way love goes, boy.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you? Probably didn't. That I was at that Super Bowl because it was in Houston.
You didn't tell me that.
Where the
Timberlake
great
the showed everybody she was pierced.
The great breast unveiling took place. So that was the Patriots and the Carolina Panthers.
Wow.
And I remember that it was a boring first quarter. Second quarter got going, and we were sitting there, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, and I didn't see it. And nobody saw it. Nobody in the arena, nobody in the stadium saw it.
Yeah.
Only people who had TiVo, and that TiVo was brand new then. So like it was like what, maybe a dozen people that had TiVo could actually go back and look at it. But I'll never forget that as soon as they stopped, and again, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the motion of Timberlake pulling her, what was it, bustier or whatever, down.
Yeah.
But I just saw, them come together. They were together.
Yeah.
And then they stopped, and the music stopped.
Yeah.
And she just, boom, just took off running. It was almost cartoonish how quickly she took off stage. And I remember saying to myself, I guess she wanted to get the hell out of there. And then by midway through the third quarter, so this is well before everybody had smartphones.
Yeah.
People had cell phones, but there were no smartphones, whatever. There was almost like this buzz in the press area. And you could see people like they would, and then it would just keep going on down, and it would, eventually just filter up to where you were. And it was like, I forget the guy's name. I wouldn't know him. Just some random guy that was sitting next to me, another member of the press. He's like, "Hey, say Janet Jackson titty came out." And I go, "What?" Say what? Wait a minute, dog. What are you talking about? Yo, man, relax. And then, of course, that's exactly what happened. So,
crazy, dude.
It was indeed crazy. So there you go.
She never. I mean,
no. She never recovered. The then head of
fully.
CBS, Les Moonves, did her absolutely dirty. And I don't want to say he ruined her career, but he definitely stifled her career for sure. Les Moonves is a world-class jackass.
Nothing happened to Timberlake at all, and he was the one who pulled the thing off.
No, not at all. But on this date, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 18 came out in 1989. On this date in 1990, Stone Cold Cinematic Classic hit Goodfellas premiered in theaters on this date in 1990. Yeah, it's a classic. What else can you say?
That's one of the ones that comes on, you sit and watch.
100%.
Sit and watch.
100%.
There's everything about it is note perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to watch it over The Godfather. I really would.
I would agree with you, and I think it is light years better than Casino too.
Oh yeah,
not a big Casino fan. I think Casino is absolutely overrated, but Goodfellas
not even in the same league.
No, not in my estimation at all. As well, to me, Goodfellas is note for note.
Yep,
perfect
motion picture. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching this. That you ever see Heat?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
They're talking about remaking it, by the way, right?
I think we're getting not a remake, but I don't know if it's a sequel or I don't know if it's a prequel, but I know we're getting another Heat.
Yeah, they're trying to do it because there's a book out.
Oh, is there?
I think there was a
book.
book.
I say that like I'm going to read it. Like, oh, you have to say, oh, really? There's a book out. Oh.
Yeah, I think there was a book. I love Heat. That's another one I can just.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime at all.
For sure. But Goodfellas, like I said, note for note, perfect. I can't think of a misstep. It's got everything. It's well shot. It's well acted. The soundtrack is amazing. The story is amazing. There's humor in it. You feel for the characters. To a certain extent, you empathize with the characters.
These are horrible people, but you do empathize with them.
Yeah. It is. I agree with you. It's what people say about The Godfather, that you empathize and sympathize with the characters. I don't think as much as you do, for me, with the guys in Goodfellas.
I can't tell you how bad my feelings were hurt when Tommy got popped.
Oh yeah,
he thought he was about to be a made man. I'm
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is it you kind of knew he was eventually going to get it some way. But because it was his own people, it's just, damn, dude.
That scene where his wife goes to De Niro and he tells her to just go down this alley.
Oh my God!
To get a dress.
Yeah, just right around the corner there.
That is, without doing a whole lot, that scene is so taut and tension filled.
Yep.
And I think everybody has the same emotional reaction. Even if you've seen the movie, which we all have multiple times, don't do it. Don't go down that alley. You will not come back.
Yeah,
okay.
Feel good.
There are no dresses for you down there. Okay.
Don't
do it.
Oh my God.
Don't do it. Thank you, John. Yeah, Heat 2 is a prequel.
There we go.
I'm gonna see it. There is no doubt. I am going to see it. So yeah, on this date in 1990, the cinematic classic Goodfellas premiered, and finishing up on this date, the follow-up to the wildly popular debut by Pearl Jam 10 debuted on this day in 1993 versus Pearl Jam's second album came out on this date in 1993. And I'm pretty sure it still holds the record for the largest selling second album by a band or an individual.
Really?
Versus sold a little bit shy of 1 million copies the first week it came out. And yeah, it's got everything. It is a very, very, very well done album. And I think we were talking about this on the last show on Wednesday, that the pressure artists, whether it's a singular artist or a band, feels when you have a debut that just pops, and is a timeless classic. How do you come back from that? Pearl Jam was able to do it.
I mean, that whole scenario, when you've been together for a while and there's a slow build for your career and the momentum picks up, and then that fourth album suddenly blows up, it's one thing. You've been through everything already, but when it's that first one, you got nowhere to go but down.
And
then, you don't have that built-in audience yet either. That's going to stick with you through thick and thin. Not everybody who hears you is a brand new listener, and they're going to compare everything to that album.
It's a hell of a follow-up.
Man.
I'm a massive Pearl Jam fan. So
that's your favorite band, yes? I thought we had that conversation when
I'm Foo Fighters I love, but Pearl Jam, the fact that they're still around and making music, because once you got Versus is when it started to get dicey for the band, because Eddie Vedder, he's a peculiar sort. He didn't want the trappings of the rock star, and he was very freaked out by the fact that their debut was as big as it was, and he felt like it was getting out of control. And the other guys in the band were like, "Hey man, we're enjoying this ride." And Eddie, he's a tortured artist. He's he's mumbling like, "No man, I don't think this is right," whatever. And so they actually recorded this album in Sausalito at the record plant, which I don't believe is still there anymore. And, the band was enjoying it, nice cushy studio, and they were famous and they were making music, and Eddie Vedder was sleeping in his truck writing these tortured lyrics. And you got this great album with Rearview Mirror and Go and Animal, and so many other, great Pearl Jam classics. And it was obviously a well-received album. And after this is when he was like, I think I want to get off this ride, but he couldn't, or decided that he didn't. And so the fact that they were able to still stick together and continue to make music now 30 plus years later, you just think about all of the bands from that era, and the number one band that you think of that of course didn't make it was Nirvana. The fact that Pearl Jam is still around and touring and putting out albums is I don't know if miracle is the word, but damn, it is impressive.
Well, that Eddie Vedder is one of those guys I have always like. Boy, I would love to interview that dude.
I would too.
Just because I would love to interview this Eddie Vedder against the younger guy.
Yeah,
I would love to talk to him about what's different about you now.
Yeah.
Has your outlook changed on anything, or has it coarsened? Like, I would love to have these conversations with him.
Well, it seems like
Thinking guy too.
In interviews that I've seen, I think he kind of stopped taking himself as seriously, and he was just able to sort of get a grasp on the whole situation. And the thing is, not to get too Pearl Jam nerdy, but they after the second album, they, led by Eddie Vedder, started to make music that was a little bit more inaccessible. You know what I mean? First two albums are really, really hooky and riffy and radio friendly.
Yeah.
You get to Vitalogy and No Code, my favorite Pearl Jam album.
Okay.
They were, especially Vitalogy. They were like, we don't want none of this shit played on the radio. So, they did what some bands do, but they're not as successful at it, which is they almost purposefully alienate the majority of the fan base to see who sticks around.
Dude, that is, I see, I'm a big Prince fan, and he was the same exact way.
It's the same thing.
Same exact way. And hearing you talk like that, like, that's one of the reasons that I like artists like that so much, is they're gonna test you.
Yeah. And listen, Nirvana tried to do it because for folks who don't know, Nevermind, the one with Smells Like Teen Spirit, the one with the baby on the front, it's not Nirvana's first album. Bleach is their first album.
Right.
Nevermind is the first album with Dave Grohl, which is, he's the gasoline that just made the engine fire. But Nirvana tried to purposefully, with their third album, second with Dave Grohl, the one after Nevermind, In Utero, they tried to do what Pearl Jam did with Vitalogy, which is they wanted to make music that was abrasive and not as polished and as radio friendly and as poppy as Nevermind. They wanted to make something that was so abrasive that would discourage what they felt were, and I think this is a very arrogant thing to do, but what they felt were not real fans. And then they kind of wanted to get back to sort of being indie and grassroots. And I say to that, I see why you would want to do it, but that's kind of a bullshit thing to do. You know what I mean?
That's a young person thing. Right?
That's a young person thing. Exactly.
You're 22, 23,
exactly.
24 years old. Exactly. I want to keep my cred. I want to keep my credibility. I mean, sometimes you just got, it's easy to say this in hindsight, but you want to take that ride. And I understand how some of these artists go, no, I don't want it if it's going to be that way. Well, it is the way it is, bro.
Yeah.
Take the success, say thank you. You don't have to go and sleep in your car or a van again.
I think that Dave Grohl said this, that sort of punk rock ethos of, I don't want to do it the normal way. That punk rock guilt, I think, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
That punk rock guilt, unfortunately, killed quite a few people.
Yeah, man.
We shouldn't be bound by guilt. We like what you like. You know what I mean? Yeah. Make the music you want to make. Do what you want to do. If you're not hurting anybody, do what you want to do. But to worry about how a certain small group of people are going to think about your art is very destructive.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. Keep doing what you do.
Have fun, for God's sakes.
Yeah. As opposed to deliberately trying to zig when everybody else is zagging, unless that's what feels natural to you. Because you know what? That can be contrived too. That can come off as contrived too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So there you go. On this date, September 19th, Wheel of Fortune, Love Connection, Press Your Luck premiered, Rhythm Nation 1812 released in 1989, Goodfellas premiered 1990, and Pearl Jam released Versus on this date, September 19th in 1993. Let's end the show, as we always do, with the best thing I've seen today. God, I love this. This entire show has been a means to this end, to show this this video. The Canelo Crawford fight last week.
Okay.
Crawford won, and it was a fight that led people to make wagers, right?
Yes.
And just keeping it real. A lot of our Mexican brothers and sisters,
yes,
down with Canelo, understand it, don't hate on it at all, and they were willing to put their money where their loyalties lie, with their man Canelo. All right, they're hermano. Look at me in my public school Spanish coming through in a pinch. You also had brothers and sisters out there who saw Bud Crawford as one of their own, and they felt that it was worthy and worth it to put some money on Bud Crawford.
Yes, sir.
Well, the best thing that I've seen today is a video of a man victorious in wagering on Bud Crawford with his Mexican coworkers, and he decided to film him coming to get his money. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the best thing I've seen today. Oh, please tell me I have it. Wait a minute. Hang on. Here it is. I promise you. It's right here. Best thing I've seen today is this. Pay this man his money.
Me, my dinero. Come on. Y'all bet me. Who first?
Who first?
$1,400. Go get him. You owe me some money. Yeah, so already got 50. Where's that? Come on, y'all playing around. Come on. I want money. You owe me 200. 100. Yeah, where's that? I got Zell. We can do all that later. That's 100.
Oh, by the way, I want to point something out here. And Marcus, this just might just be for me and you. I want you to listen to the way he says later, and then tell me where this man is from. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
100. Yeah, where's that? I got Zell. We can do all that later. That's 100.
Oh, that's
Did you hear? He's New Orleans.
That's definitely New Orleans.
It's definitely New Orleans. So I don't know if this is in New Orleans, but homeboy is definitely from New Orleans. That's just for the two of us. But when you know the New Orleans accent, you hear it immediately. So, all right, here we go. He continues.
Playing around. Come on. I want money. You owe me 200. 100. Yeah, where's that? I got Zell. We can do all that later. That's 100. Come on. That's 200 cash. Come on. That money. It's another 100. Get that. Yeah, that's another 200. Look at that. You see that, huh? We getting that. That's another 100. Yeah.
Oh, that's another 100.
Yeah. Come on. Where you at? Tell your boy, come on with my paper now. I need that.
You heard it. My paper.
Yeah. Which one of them better me over there? It's only him. No, huh? One of them better me $200 over there. Who was sitting on that by that car?
What? He said you only did 200.
Yeah. Who that was? Sold me 100. What you got? 500 for me?
Oh my God!
Look this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12. I'm missing $200. Yeah. Missing $200. Somebody was sitting on that ground yesterday, wanted to bet 500. Who that was? No, I know he owed me 100. No, who was on that ground outside that car wanted to bet me 200?
Get this man his money.
500. That was you? Yeah, that's 200, right? Your 100, right? We still missing some money. 1, 6, 11. That's 500. 12. 13. Yeah, it's all 14. 14 big ones, baby.
That's a weak salary right there, bro.
Barbecue today. Barbecue today.
That's the best part.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What y'all want to eat? What y'all want to eat?
I'm gonna treat you on your money.
Yeah, y'all want barbecue today? What y'all want? Barbecue. See, that's how you do that on that fight, right? You heard me? You get him. Hey, make sure you get him in the camera. What you got? $100 what?
$100 what?
Huh? Cash App or Zelle?
Sell.
Zelle?
Yeah.
All right. What you got right here?
500.
500, huh? You got Zelle or Cash?
Yeah, baby.
Glaciers! Stop with that. Damn!
Oh man, it's the best thing I've seen today. I had to let the whole thing play because it's beautiful in its entirety, and I wanted to make sure that everybody saw him say, "I'm gonna buy all you guys lunch with the money y'all just paid me."
I know that feeling because it's not the money represents the fact that you were right, and everybody else in the house was wrong.
Your opinion literally has a monetary value.
That's it. It's not about the money. It's about me being right.
and getting the money from you.
That's right. Because he get to talk that trash. Because even if he didn't win that money, he could still be talking. But now, since he took their money, he gonna be talking crazy.
Oh man,
500? I never would, bro. I never would.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Uh-huh.
Not at all. He's going to have a real tough time explaining that to his wife.
Yeah, man. Everybody's rent is on the line with that thing. Ooh,
but man, I love that there was no language barrier whatsoever. He was not leaving until he got his dinero.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I'm not mad at it.
So there you go. That's the best thing I've seen today. Absolutely.
Your boy Cole wants your prediction for the game, Rod.
My prediction, as always, pain, as Clubber Lang said. It's gonna be a tight one. Arizona's got some injuries in their secondary. So I think even if
right?
Yes. Even if Jennings doesn't play, didn't practice this week, but he also didn't practice last week. But even if Jennings doesn't play, I think the Niners have enough to threaten and get at Arizona's secondary with what they've been able to do with McCaffrey. And also, I think this is going to be a real nice game for Kendrick Bourne. You had, I think he had 2-3 catches against the Saints. I'm looking for him to have a bigger role, even if Juwan Jennings does play.
Okay.
I think the Niners will. I was going to say that with certainty. Then I thought about it. I think eventually the Niners are going to be able to get that run game going with McCaffrey. I'm really, really, really worried about the Connor Colby injury and losing him at left guard. Because again, that Arizona front is pretty damn good. Arizona's problem offensively, strangely enough, they're a really good pass blocking team. Now, again, just like with with the center position for the Niners and him being ranked number 2, this is a very small sample size. With Jake Brendel being ranked by Pro Football Focus a number 2 overall center.
Yeah,
that Arizona's offensive line really good at pass blocking, like the Niners. But unlike the Niners, Arizona's run blocking not very good.
Can't run.
So I think that's still going to hold up with the Niners' improved defensive line and defensive mindset and defensive coaching.
Yeah.
And also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the thing I'm most excited about is to see what that madman Robert Saleh is going to have cooked up to keep Kyler Murray in check and also confuse him. It's going to be a lot of zone. No surprise there. But I think the new Niners youth and team speed that they didn't have last year, along with better coaching and along with having a squad that is not reactive, it's proactive.
Yeah.
I think all of that eventually is going to not overwhelm Arizona, but it is eventually going to put the Niners in a position to where they can close it out defensively, as they did in New Orleans and as they did against Seattle. So I really do think it's going to be a 24-21 game, 27-24, maybe 27-20, somewhere along those lines. I think it's going to be back and forth the first half. And then, as we've seen in the first couple of games, the Niners being the better team defensively those guys are going to close it out.
I'm going 26-24 49ers.
Okay. Yeah. We're about in the same area for sure.
26-24.
Yeah.
Now they could shock me, obviously, but I feel like, this is where we'll end up in this range.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't at all. I think Arizona is too good, too talented. It's like I said, especially what they have with their defensive front. The game is going to be. This game's going to be won or lost at the line of scrimmage. And I know you can say that about every football game,
sure,
because of the importance of the line of scrimmage. But just with the Niners being better at the O-line, but also having some questions as far as what they're going to do at left guard and what Arizona is now bringing with their defensive line, because they made it a point to upgrade their defensive line.
Sure.
So, that matchup, and then, the reverse or inverse or whatever it is with the Niners defensive front trying to get at Arizona's, as I mentioned, what they are good at and what they have been proven to be good at so far this year. To me, that's where the game is going to be won. So there you go.
Sounds good. There you go, Cole.
There you go, Cole. You got yourself a prediction. Please
money.
do not gamble with any of your Hispanic coworkers based on that prediction. But if you do and you win, please get some video of it and get it to us, because maybe, just maybe, it will be the best thing that I have seen today. All right, that's enough of the show. As always, we thank our presenting sponsor before we get out of here, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. Check them out online at hopmonk.com. Shall I give you a real quick Giants update? I haven't done that here in a while. I got to switch screens because, of course, the dumb game being on dumb Apple TV, I can't watch it upstairs in my office. And you know what? I'm just not going to give you an update because I might upset and disappoint some people. So if you want to know what the Giants did, go find out for yourself. I'm not going to tell you because it's not all that great.
Oh, man.
I think it might be over.
Yes.
I think it might be over. Yeah. This show is over. Marcus, my friend, have yourself a fantastic weekend, sir. How about we do this again on Monday? All right, my brother. Sure. Everybody, be good. To the quality hangers in the chat, thank you very much for your participation. We thank you, and we hope you have a great rest of your Friday night and a great rest of your weekend. And as always, be good and be good at it. We'll see you.